You are listening to Waywut. This is a rabbit hole podcast where we cover topics ranging from sports to true crime and pop culture to weird facts. Just a little bit of everything. Really, it's just a couple of guys taking turns to present weird topics to each other. We publish episodes weekly and truly appreciate you joining us. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's get this episode started. Here we go.
Why, hello there, and welcome to yet another episode where I man the bar and pour us some drinks and talk about another topic that made me say, wait, what? Joining me on the corner bar stool is a man who preferred deer nuts over corn nuts because they are under $1, Darrell Holiday.
Why do you do this? Why do you do this?
Come on, that was pretty good. That was pretty funny. Well, Darrell, you know one of our
like Norm or something like that, but no.
I tried to work that in somehow, and that's where I was going with the corner bar stool was Norm.
Where everybody would know my name.
Mm-hmm. But I wanted to shoehorn in the
really bad dad joke.
Yeah, man, why not? I'm a dad, might as well. Well, one of my favorite things once a year that we get to do, one of our annual traditions, is going to the beer festival. I look forward to it every year. I know there has been in 1 or 2 years we may not have gone, but for the most part, we have gone every year for several years. I mean, we've gone several times. It is a blast.
Yeah. I remember most of the last one, so yes.
Well, I got a wonderful photo saved from that day of you.
Was it with me with the brisket quesadilla?
Oh, yeah, it was all over your face. It was so damn funny.
Well, and if any of you want to see me accidentally putting a video on our YouTube channel,
yes,
there's 2 of them on there from that.
Yes, that's the day you try to. Not only did we drink beer for several hours and fill up our punch card times 5, probably, you decided that it was a good idea to go across the street and drink some mezcal.
You've never had mezcal.
No, you wouldn't take no for an answer. I kept telling you I didn't want it. I don't like the tequila, even though it's not tequila. It's very similar, but you were insistent.
You make me sound like
they don't believe me. Go look at the video.
You make me sound like a frat boy with like a freshman.
No,
come on, you know you want it. Take it. You know you want it. Everybody's doing it.
Kind of how the conversation went. It was great. It was fun. And we walk around. We try all the different beers. Try all the different ciders. And it just made me curious on how many types of beers there actually are. There are over 100 beer styles recognized worldwide and close to 10,000 breweries in the U.S. alone as of 2022. And that was my Waywut moment. So grab a frosty mug and fill it to the top as we are about to talk everything beer.
Well, all right.
Like I said, although there are over 100 beer styles, but believe it or not, there are only 3 types of beer. Beer can be considered an ale, a lager, or a hybrid.
Okay.
And the difference in an ale and a lager is the temperature of the fermentation and the type of yeast that is used. Ales ferment at a warmer temperature, somewhere in between 68 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit, and can be ready for consumption in about 10 days. Lagers ferment at a colder temperature, around 50 degrees Fahrenheit, but can take weeks or months to age. This difference,
frost brewed cold.
Yeah. The difference allows ales to have some of the spicy and fruity type of flavors, and lagers taste like their ingredients. The bitterness, the hops. You could taste it in the beer most of the time.
Okay.
Think about a Corona. That little aftertaste that it has. That's
which is funny though, because like I hate IPAs.
Oh yeah.
I
do not like them either.
With a passion.
Yeah.
And yet I figured that would be where you would taste like most of the ingredients, because they taste very floral. They taste like flowers, and I hate it.
With some common form of ales, like you've already included, are the IPAs as a common form of an ale. Your Hefeweizens, like your Shock Tops, your Blue Moons.
Hefeweizen. Weizen.
Hefeweizen.
Weizen.
Blue Moon. I'm actually representing the Blue Moon shirt right now. But
Okay.
the Blue Moon is basically 50% wheat beer. You have your sour beers, your dark beer, the stouts and porters, and your Saison. These are your spicy and peppery beers. Uh,
Saisons.
it's Saison.
I think it's a saison.
Saison. I don't know.
Saison.
I've tried a
I'm gonna
majority of
enjoy
all these
correcting
beers.
you the entire episode. Anyway,
I can't talk. We've already established I am not a very good talker. I can't even read correctly, so we're just moving right along here.
I read good. I read good.
No, I've tried. There was a time where I was trying all these beers at Kroger, where they would do the 6-pack, where you would go in and try all the loose beers they had. You would try just fill up a 6-pack.
Yeah,
And
I tend to do it around the seasons so that I can be like, okay, I'm gonna try all the pumpkin beers. And then at one point they had like all these different chocolate and peanut butter beers. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a Reese's 6-pack. Just did various chocolate and peanut
there's
butter
all
beers.
kinds of beer, and most of them tasted very similar. And there's a few that would stand out that would just be god awful. Like, how could they even pass this as drinkable?
There was one that shocked me that I'm still stunned that how much I liked it. And I would get, I don't drink very often, and it is one that I don't mind having like a 6-pack of it, and I'll just have like one every once in a while. It's a Snickerdoodle beer,
Snickerdoodle,
like the cookie.
like the cinnamon. Yeah.
Yeah, it is so freaking good, and the aftertaste is almost like powdered sugar sprinkled in your mouth.
Mm.
It's
Yeah, I
really
like
good.
some of the fruit flavored beers that Samuel Adams had, and there was one that was good.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the thing, I don't even like Samuel Adams that
I was
much.
gonna
Their
say,
normal
I hate
beer is
Sam
not that
Adams.
good to me,
It's
but
very good.
a lot of their flavored beers, pretty good. But I was saving all the beer bottles and trying to be unique and using them as my decorations in the kitchen. But I
Until you
tried.
figured out that that's not unique at all.
No, no. But a lot of these beers, like I said, pretty much tasted the same, even though they had different names, and most of them were decent. But some of them tasted like crap. They were not good. One that stuck out was one called Moose Drool.
I
Yeah,
don't think that was supposed to taste good.
no, it was a dark beer. It was disgusting. I took one drink and I poured the rest down the sink just to keep the bottle.
Did it have like a high alcohol percentage? Some sort of redeeming quality? No.
No, no. The redeeming quality, I think, was the name, just the unique name.
Somebody's like, God damn, we made a really shitty batch of beer. What are we gonna do? Just give it a cool name so people just buy
Be
it for the
creative.
label.
Yeah. It's like them people that make them ranch flavored sodas and the hot wing flavored sodas. It's not,
Enchilada flavored,
yeah,
yeah.
it's not going to taste good. You're just buying it for the novelty.
We bought like 3 or 4 of those a while back, and then we all tried different ones. And I forget, there was one that was like a weird taste. That I was like, I kind of dig this. I can't remember what it was. Though.
Well, the most popular type here in the U.S. is the Pilsner. That's your Coors Light, Bud Light, a Michelob Ultra. That's all falls in the line of the lager category.
Have you ever thought about how like Coors Light is like the Diet Coke of beer? Because like Coors Banquet, the tan label,
It's pretty strong.
I love that beer. It is one of
Yeah,
my favorite beers. You
the
put
banquet
you
beer.
put a Coors Light in front of me, I won't touch it. I hate Coors Light. It tastes terrible.
It's a
And it's like
huge difference. Yeah.
it's a huge difference. So it's kind of like how Coca-Cola tastes like it, whatever, and the Diet Coke tastes like something completely freaking different. That's why
Right.
they had to do Coke Zero. They're like, okay, for people that want to actually taste something that tastes like Coke that doesn't have all the calories, here you go.
Well, to
And that's
borrow a joke from Mitch Hedberg, if the diet and the regular taste the same, then they fucked up. I don't know. Like Budweiser, I can't drink Budweiser. I don't. It's too strong. But Bud Light, that was our drink back in the day. And
I like, but they still don't taste like drastically different from each other. I mean, the thing with Budweiser, I like Budweiser. I like it better than Bud Light, but the thing is, Budweiser is a very heavy beer. I drink like
mm,
3 of those and I feel full. Well,
hmm Mm-hmm.
In my youth, I would drink 3 of those and I would be full. Nowadays, I'd just be like, "Oh my god, this is just so strong."
Yeah, one of the first times I got drunk was on Budweiser. My head was so heavy and was just flopping all around. No, long time ago. Well, after reading about beer for a bit, two things happened. First thing I did was I went and grabbed a beer. Second, I started wondering in the course of history how many times people have said, "Hold my beer, watch this." The answer to that question is infinite. As much beer as there are double the number of jackasses who try stupid shit. Except for this guy. Allow me to tell you the greatest hold my beer moment in history.
Oh, okay.
Thomas Fitzpatrick, also known as Tommy Fitz, became a legend on the early morning of September 30th, 1956. Around 3 a.m. in the morning, one of his drinking buddies challenged him to go to New Jersey and make it back across the Hudson River to Manhattan's Washington Heights district. This is where they were drinking. And he needed to do this in just 15 minutes. So Mr. Tommy Fitz said, "Challenge accepted. Hold my beer." So Tommy Fitz stole a single engine plane from the Teterboro School of Aeronautics in New Jersey and took off without lights or radio contact and landed that mofo on St. Nicholas Avenue or right in front of the bar where he's been drinking. Thanks for holding my beer.
Dear Lord. I'm guessing he went to jail.
No, no, no. What the good thing is, or what is even better, a couple years later, he, of course, was bragging about his conquest. There he was drunk again at the bar. "Hey, you never guess what I did." Of course, a bar patron didn't believe him. So they said, "Do it again. Prove it." So he did it again on October 4th, 1958, just before 1 a.m. So cheers to the greatest hold my beer moment in history.
Jesus.
That was pretty great. It took some balls. Really?
It's like
You really dare me?
it's like
Okay.
I mean, like, I don't know, it makes me seem it sounds like a Grand Theft Auto mission.
Yeah. Go steal a plane,
Yeah,
leave
it's
it on
like
the street.
it has a timer and it's like, yeah, go here, steal a plane, fly here. Oh gosh, wanted level,
Yeah, that's pretty funny. All right. We have all chugged a beer before. We have all bonged, funneled a beer before. We have all shotgunned a beer before. And yes, we have all puked up beer before. Have you ever drunk a beer out of a shoe?
No,
No, me
that's
neither.
gross.
Drinking from a shoe has been said to be a bringer of good fortune, a hazing punishment, or to get the party going. This practice is particularly popular in Australia. It's called an Australian Shoey. Australian Formula One driver Daniel Ricciardo made the tradition famous around 2016. He credits a few Aussies called the Mad Hueys. They travel the world fishing and surfing and like to drink a lot of beer. But I think it's weird that surfers came up with a tradition of drinking out of a shoe when normally a surfer don't wear shoes. They usually have some sort of flip flops.
I think, I can't be sure, but I am fairly certain that I would rather butt chug a beer than drink one out of a shoe.
Yes, I would rather you butt chug it too, than drink it out of a shoe.
I mean, feet are gross. Feet
I'm
are
writing
super
that shit
gross.
down. I'm gonna offer you a beer out of a shoe next time we see each other, and you're gonna say no.
I don't
I'm like,
drink
well, you know
very
what the
often.
other
I
option
don't
is.
drink often enough to be like, oh, yeah, no, I'm going to do no. I don't know. I will not do either. I'm
You
just
could drink
saying,
it from your butt.
if somebody, pointed a gun at me and handed me a shoe full of beer, I'd be like, do you have a beer bong with a really small tube? Because I'm tight. And I would
Uh,
let them pour that beer in the funnel right up my butt before I drink. I mean, if it's my shoe, it's a no go. But god dang, if it's somebody else's shoe, I will cut you. No.
Yeah, regardless if you're drinking from a shoe, whether it's yours or somebody else's, it's a very popular way to celebrate your victory. Not only
Maybe
that, the crowd loves watching someone drink from a shoe.
I
They
would
go
go
absolutely nuts.
Walmart and maybe buy a brand new shoe. But no, even then, somebody about to try it on. Ugh, no.
Well, one of the last wrestling shows, they were in Australia, and I can't remember who did it, but somebody did an Australian shoey on in the middle of the ring.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, I don't think I could drink out of a shoe.
Right, but if you had your choice, somebody gun to the head, shoe or butt chug, what's your choice?
I think I'm going to drink out of the shoe. You want all the butt play.
No, it isn't that I want the butt play. I just don't want athlete's foot in my mouth. I don't want to get athlete's tongue. I mean, at least, it's, I don't know, it's almost like medical whenever they're doing the butt chug. And it's like, yes, I had an alcohol enema. Because,
Well, technically, isn't athlete's foot a yeast-like
it's
substance?
a fungus. It's a fungus.
So it could be like yeast in a way, maybe adds a little flavor to it. I don't know. I'm not trying to say we should all be drinking out of shoes.
About yeast. All right.
Well, not to be left out, a boot is also part of this tradition. Drinking from another soldier's boot was a hazing ritual in the German army. It was also a tradition for the German soldiers to pass around the leather boot filled with beer to bring good luck before a battle. They would also drink from the general's boot after a victory. My question is, where would they drink from if they lost?
Honestly,
maybe they wouldn't drink. Yeah,
I'm like,
they would be dead.
Who cares? Because it obviously didn't work.
Right. No, very good.
It's like, I drank all that out of that boot for nothing.
Well, doing what Americans do, we brought that back, the tradition back, but in a novelty sort of way. And the Das Boot was born.
Oh, from the movie Beer Fest?
Yes, and that's what I'm about to talk about next. Now, with all the chugging and drinking, of course, there were competitions. Probably the most famous of these was highlighted in the movie Beer Fest in 2006. It's called The Race. You make teams of at least 4 against 4. The first 3 from each team get a mug or cup of beer, except for the 4th guy. He gets the boot. It's 1 liter of beer. Can you imagine drinking 1 liter of beer all at once? Just chugging it down.
No, because just even with regular bottle size. So back when we were in our 20s, and we would do the drinking games all the time at your apartment. Anytime we did waterfall, and for those of you who are not like lushes like we were in our 20s, waterfall is whenever you sit in a circle and you all have your beer, and whoever elected to start or whatever, they start drinking their beer, and the person to the left of them starts drinking after them, and it goes until it goes all the way around, and you're not allowed to stop until the person on your right stops. And whenever I would always start that with like a fresh beer, because I'm like, I'm gonna make somebody miserable. And then whenever I'm stuck waiting on somebody and my throat is feels like it's getting hypothermia, it's sitting there trying to chug a cold beer,
filling up with foam.
It's just, I couldn't imagine doing that for a liter. I mean, those bottles were what, like 16 ounces?
The liter?
No, the regular bottle of beer is like 12 ounces. Yeah. Oh no, nope, no das Boot for me.
No. Let's say it's 4 on 4. First 3 have to drink regular beer. The last one has to drink that big boot liter of beer. They start, and the first team to win finishes, or first team to finish wins, I guess.
I think the big question is if it's cold. Cause see, that was always the hard part when it came to chugging for me, was how cold your throat gets whenever it's cold beer.
Chug warm beer than cold beer?
If I'm going to chug something, you're not chugging something for the taste.
No, you're just trying to
if I'm going to try to win a chug race, I would rather it be room temperature.
Oh, that's different.
Like our friend Tony with the red dog
overnight red dog.
Yeah, that he left in the car overnight. He chugged that whole thing.
Man. I gained more respect for him that day after drinking all night and next day, and okay, he just picked it up and started drinking it again.
Hey, it's the life of a wiffle ball player.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me, that I was just saying the first team to finish wins, and then, but do you really win? Because do you recall the Super Bowl party we had where we had Jello shots and you won uh,
I got the
football
score
squares,
right.
and then you got your prize was the biggest Jello shot, and of course you took it like a champ. But then
It
disaster
was
struck
that.
later.
All right. For clarification, this Jello shot was about half of a solo cup,
Yeah, it wasn't a shot; it was about the size of a rocks glass.
and we didn't do it. And we didn't do that until after the game. So that was a whole game
Hmm.
of drinking, and on top
At
of
the
that,
Super Bowl, yeah.
yeah, and on top of that, if I recall correctly, my dumbass also decided to sample some herbal remedies
Hmm.
during that, and I haven't, I don't, I didn't, I still don't do that very, 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 very often, but the back then I didn't, I
Yeah, you
rarely
didn't do
did
it
that,
ever.
and I did that, and all that mixed together, and the lady I was married to at the time. Well, one, I went and threw up in your bathroom.
Yeah, you did.
I
And
went
a
and
little
threw
bit
up in
on
your
your shirt.
bathroom, and it got on my shirt, and I was sitting there trying to hide it by grabbing my shirt right here, and did a bad job of it because apparently it was over here.
God, I still remember that so
So
clearly from this day.
people that aren't watching this, I was grabbing the upper right part of my shirt when the vomit was probably more towards the middle, and
But the way you're trying to hide it just by crunching your shirt together like it wasn't obvious.
yeah, and from there I needed help. Me and Jason lived in the same apartment complex, but in different apartments. And so him and the lady I was married to at the time had to basically support me all the way to my apartment, up
Mm-hmm.
some stairs. And if I
Mm-hmm.
recall correctly, that was the night that I told her, where I just stripped down and I got in the bathtub and I was like,
Turned on the
turn the
shower.
cold water on me. And then I would start screaming, ah! Turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. Turn it back on. Ah! Just trying to do anything to make that level of intoxication go away.
Oh, like I said, did you really win? What was your prize? I mean,
That was y'all's stupid idea.
I didn't hold you down.
Well, I didn't think I would get a score right. I never win anything with football. You can ask my
Oh,
fantasy football league. They tell me they laugh at what a big loser I am at whenever it comes to picking football stuff. And all of a sudden, that time, whenever it's like a half a fucking Jello mold of Jello shot.
oh my God. Oh, that's pretty damn funny. I said, I've never been a big chugging beer person. I couldn't do it. There's several times playing them games and you chug a beer, then you say, I'll be right back. I got to go to the bathroom, or I'll be right back. I need another beer. And you go into that other room and throw it all up into the sink or into the toilet. It's
Or on
hard to
your
chug
shirt.
beer or on your shirt. Yeah. Well, speaking of throwing up, I'm not sure how these people quite do it, but there's this thing called the beer mile, and it has gained a following with both athletes and beer lovers. The runners must chug a beer and then run a mile. And this is actually held in various cities and even stretches as far as Australia. The most well known and organized beer mile is the Flow Track Beer Mile World Championships held in Austin, Texas.
Huh. Have you ever heard of the Tough Mudder?
Yes.
At the end of it, you get a beer.
Huh.
So you're sitting there crawling under electrified barbed wire fences and
Mm-hmm.
climbing all over obstacles. And then if you drag your bloody carcass to the end of it, they're like, "Here, have a beer."
Yeah, that'd be great afterwards. But this is, you got to chug a beer and then run a mile. How do you
You
not
know,
just throw up everywhere?
I could do it in my 20s. The
You
mile
could
would have
chug a
been
beer and run a
the
mile.
mile would have been the hard part.
You could chug a beer, but could you have ran a mile?
That's I said the mile would be the hard part, but I mean, if you recall, I wasn't a whole lot that I would not dare to do
Uh,
whenever I was in my heyday, and I'm like, I love drinking all the time. So yeah, I totally would have done it. I've been like, well, fuck, why? Yes, it's the only way I'm ever gonna run a miles if you give me a beer.
well, but these people, they're actually into it. They, chug a beer and then they go run a 5 minute mile. I mean, it's not like these people look like me and you and
Boom,
running miles
boom,
in
boom,
15
boom.
minutes.
Yeah,
And these
have
people are actually athletes. Yeah.
yeah. They don't have their flab bouncing while their beer bellies bouncing while they run.
Oh man. It reminds you mentioned waterfall as one of the games we played.
Mm-hmm.
What was, I think, the ones we used to make up, the when we get a whole deck of cards, and then each one we would make up a rule for each one.
For
Like,
each card,
yeah,
yeah.
like 2 would be a social drink, and then
Ace would be a dare.
dare, and then
Let's see, 7 was buzz.
buzz or banjo, however you want to play it.
Yeah, and then we had 5 was make a rule, I think.
Make a rule, and then like, make somebody drink, or it was fun.
Yeah,
It was fun. So, with all this beer consumption records, or excuse me, there has to be some beer consumption records considering how gluttonous of a nation we are. Here's what I found. As mentioned in a previous episode about drunk, stoned athletes, Andre the Giant was a heavy drinker. With his massive size, he can kill bottles of beer with ease. He holds the world record for drinking 119 standard 12-ounce bottles of beer in a 6-hour period.
Jeez Louise.
That equals to be roughly 11 gallons of beer.
No.
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 I mean, he's massive and he's big, but that's still a lot of liquid.
What's so funny is how beer almost it doesn't, but it seemingly shrinks your bladder.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine having to piss out 11 gallons of beer?
When I drink one beer, it feels like I do have to piss out 11 gallons of beer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I drank 11 gallons of beer, I'd be pissing for 3 or 4 hours straight. I'd have to throw out all my dignity and sit down to pee.
No, your liver would be knocking from the inside. Please stop.
Your mouth. Try to block the entrance.
No more. That's great. The World Beer Chugging Championship requires a standard size beer to be drank as quickly as possible, with rules regarding spillage and completion of the entire beverage. So, sorry, Stone Cold, you would fail miserably at this competition.
Yeah, because he would spill all of it.
Oh, he barely drinks any of it.
Yeah.
He mainly pours over his face and then gets a little bit on his beard and then moves on.
Yeah.
Anyway, the current record is 1.6 seconds by Peter Dowdeswell in the UK. This was 16 ounces. He drank this 16 ounces, a pint of beer, in 1.6 seconds. That's basically one swallow.
All right. Oh man, this is one of those jokes that might get me a little on the canceled side. But I mean, does he partake in
dick sucking?
Yeah. Because I'm wondering if he's got himself a girthy fella, it might have pried that open. Just pried the throat open to where he can just dump the beer in like you poured it into a cup. Just I mean,
yeah.
I think that is
to it.
No, but I think that's a valid question though, because I think that's sir, have you had performance enhancing cock?
He's missing his uvula.
Why do I see vein impressions on the inside of your throat?
What are you doing with your hand? Oh, but I've actually known some people who can actually really drink like that, with a funnel or a shotgun, and it maybe not that fast, but seeing it the way that, like you said, dick sucking jokes aside, how you can open up your throat and basically, like you said, just pour it down your throat, and you don't really even have to swallow it. Just Goes
falls
right
in.
down. Yeah. Some people can do it, some people can't. But this guy holds the world record.
Yeah, he's got himself a
Yeah.
future in the porn
You think
industry.
his mama's proud?
Maybe he inherited her lack of gag reflex or something.
Oh yeah. Thanks, mom. Thanks, mom.
My mom showed me how to do this a
Yeah.
long time ago.
I knew this would come in handy one day. All right. The world's most expensive beer is called Brewdog's The End of History. Its price tag is $20,000 per bottle. This Belgian style ale was infused with rare ingredients like juniper berries and nettles and packaged in taxidermy animals. It's very strange.
That's stupid.
It's
That's
very
stupid.
weird. Why would
That's
you do it?
stupid.
It's
I mean,
dumb.
I
I don't
would
know.
get it if it's like, no, this is brewed from like some extinct hops or something,
Mm-hmm.
or this is a species of barley that we found some seeds from in like some ancient Egyptian pyramid. I would get it then. But it's like, yeah, we just stick it. It's got
Yeah,
juniper
just
berries are
stuck in
not
a
rare.
raccoon.
Juniper berries are all over the place, but I mean, it's like, yes, we have these special ingredients, where we make sure that we have virgins wipe their ass with the barley before they do it, and then we stick it in a dead animal. No, that don't sound worth. That sounds
Yeah, it's more of
stupid.
the novelty thing, something that
Some
rock
rappers will
stars,
get.
rappers will buy. Yes, but its alcohol volume is 55%. That's really, really high.
That's 110 proof.
Well, however, that is beat by a Scottish brew called Snake Venom. It has a 67.5% ABV, or alcohol by volume. A
100,
common one for everyday beer ranges between 4 and 5%.
so 134 proof.
It's
That's more alcohol than Everclear.
yeah, it will. I've never heard of this beer. I don't know where they would sell it, but
I mean, it'd either make you go blind, or you could you know, I don't know, start fires with it, fuel a flamethrower with it.
yeah, I couldn't imagine how badly it would burn on the way down.
I mean, gosh, imagine how much it would burn on the way up if you were butt chugging it.
Could you imagine butt chugging a beer with that much alcohol blood content where you would immediately probably have alcohol poisoning?
Oh yeah, almost immediately. It would have
Almost.
to.
You would have like
It,
1 or 2 minutes of really being
you're
drunk.
like, man, I'm so drunk. Okay, I'm dead.
Oh, it's totally worth it. Totally worth it.
Why
Let's
do they
do it
call it
again.
snake venom? Oh, because once it hits your system, you have about 30 minutes to live. Oh, okay.
It's pretty amazing. I'm not going to end on this one. Paul Newman is known for many things. He even has his own damn salad dressing. Little did he know, though, that a speech he gave to collegiate students will go on to inspire Paul Newman Day. In that speech, he stated 24 hours in a day, 24 beers in a case. Coincidence? I think not. The day was initiated by students of Bates College, and it's located in Maine, and in 1976 at their annual January Winter Carnival. As time went on, the tradition was picked up at other colleges as well. It occurs on a Friday of the aforementioned Winter Carnival at Bates College or on April 24th, as other colleges opted to use. And it starts at midnight and finishes up at noon. Basically, you drink a beer an hour for 24 hours.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's very similar to the Power Hour or the Hour of Power or whatever it's called that we used to play, where you take the little shot glass, you fill it up with beer, and then every minute on the hour, you take a little shot of beer. And it ends up being like 2.5 beers. But this is drinking 24 beers in a 24-hour period.
That's too much work. I mean, like,
Well, as a collegiate student, you know damn well they're all about it.
oh yeah, no. Back in our 20s, I'm certain we would have thought it was a freaking brilliant idea.
Oh, yeah. It would be every day would be
You'd be
Paul
like,
Newman
what are you
Day.
talking about 24 in a case? Screw that. Let's get a 30-pack and have a couple of bonus beers.
Yeah, stay up for an extra 6 hours. I don't know. Well, so that will do it for this week's episode. Return to happy hour next week when Darrell mans the bar and pours us a stiff drink that made us say, Waywut?
You're so cheesy.
Hey.
You're so cheesy.
Hey, I like it. It's getting better.
I know. No, it's fine. That's who you are. You're the
I'm
cheesy
the cheese ball.
Yeah, you're the cheese ball.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
see y'all, folks.
Yep. See y'all later.
Thank you for listening to Waywut. We really appreciate it. Remember that we post episodes every Tuesday, and we'll throw an extra one on Fridays if we feel like it. Don't count on it. You never know. We would love for you to follow and rate us, review us, anything on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or Pandora, or just wherever else you listen to the podcast at. If you're watching this on YouTube, throw us a comment, subscribe, notification bell, do all the things that YouTube likes for you to do so that, makes other people actually possibly find our videos. You can also stalk us on Facebook, X, or TikTok. Just search for the handle Waywut Podcast, WAYWUT Podcast. Once again, thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit, and join us next time. We'll get you to say, Waywut.